The Arcturian Group, October 13, 2014. We of the Arcturian Group come to wish you peace, joy, and kindness to each other in these times of strife and confusion. We know that many are suffering, but we see great awakenings through the experiences. There are many who have always lived fully within the third-dimensional belief system who now surprisingly find themselves questioning their core beliefs in ways that are allowing them to awaken. They are reaping the benefit of the increasing light flowing on Earth even though they are not aware of why change seems to be happening within. As light flows from the increasing number of evolving energy fields, it adds light to universal world consciousness, exposing and dissolving areas of shadow in the process. This is how the world is awakening. Each small awareness of truth light helps to dissolve the illusion and adds to the whole, for there is only one. Very soon, there will be enough light in world consciousness to shift it. This is what the shift means, a transfer of energy domination. We wish to speak of truth which manifests as does everything, through the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual levels, truth as an absolute as well as truth the ordinary. When we speak of truth and theses messages, we are referring to the absolute, divine truth. In truth, there is nothing but omnipresent divine consciousness which in the human scene is interpreted by mind and seen as material. The third dimension views life through a filter of separation as well, a belief that everything is either good or bad duality. More often than not, one's individual belief system has been simply accepted without thought from the world consensus consciousness. It is very important to remember that thoughts you may have are not really yours until you accept them as your own. The thoughts and beliefs of world consciousness are floating around, always available to be claimed as truth or not. Allowing uninvited thoughts to simply flow through without giving them any importance is a reclaiming of your power and movement into truth. Resistance to unwanted ideas or thoughts simply gives them a power they do not have. In the human scene, truth is determined by whether or not you honestly state what you know or feel to be correct. It also represents consensus opinion on particular topics as dictated by the experts, or those in power. Living out from third-dimensional thinking causes some individuals as well as businesses and governments to feel no obligation toward honesty or truth if and when it does not suit their personal needs or agenda, reflecting the belief in separation. As mankind evolves ever more deeply into the realization of all within the one, it will begin to understand that the words and actions of ordinary daily life are important because what one says or does to another, he does to himself. Fear, whether recognized or not, is the root cause of dishonesty and lying, fear of lack, limitation, rejection, failure, punishment etc., and can only be eliminated through truth. Fear stems from third-dimensional experiences and teachings from past lives as well as this one. Many of these experiences were horrendous, causing long-lasting impressions within cellular memory and energy fields. These old cellular and emotional energies are what you are now in the process of clearing. Some of the more intense energy clearings can leave you feeling exhausted and depressed. Know that there is nothing wrong, you are evolving, so do not claim these feelings as having any power over you, which will simply pull them back into your energy field. Children speak the truth until they are taught not to through fear or punishment. Many adults believe that being right makes them important, more lovable, and so say or do whatever it takes to be seen as always right, a reflection of the belief in separation from love self. Frequently individuals are simply misinformed and speak from ignorance, but as with all actions, the intention behind the words give them their energy. And truths spoken innocently carry the energy intended by the sender, which is to be truthful. We do not refer to malicious gossip. Gossip and criticism are facets of duality and separation which reflect self-loathing and create the need for a person to see himself as better than others in order to feel any acceptance or self-love. These activities not only humanly never in reality hurt the person gossiped about, but also come home to rest in the energy field of the sender, for again, there is only one. With evolution comes the inability to speak untruth for personal gain. The spiritual student becomes increasingly aware of that gentle tap on the shoulder whenever he is tempted and begins to understand that his spiritual leash has become very short. Divine truth is an absolute, that which is, always has been, and ever will be, held infinitely in place by divine law. The absolute can never be known or understood fully with the limited human mind, which is why over eons of time, man has repeatedly created gods in his own likeness reflecting whatever qualities believed to be important at that time. The goal of all souls, on all planets and dimensions as well as on Earth, is and always has been, to evolve into the fullness of the realization one, thus becoming the one. The soul has always been perfect, but through its journeys of experience, has not remembered this and so has struggled lifetime after lifetime in the process of awakening. It is the spiritual journey and purpose of life to eventually realize one's divinity and live out from that state of consciousness. Divine truth is first grasped and interpreted intellectually until over time it moves to deeper levels and becomes one's reality, his state of consciousness. Each soul's journey takes infinite forms and paths and experiences, which is what you have all been doing. Books, classes, and teachers can only assist up to the attained level of consciousness of the author or teacher. This is not to say there may not be the perfect book, class, or teacher for you at a given time, but always use your intuition when deciding if something is right for you. Just because something is popular doesn't mean it would be right for you. You may actually be beyond a particular teaching or teacher. There will always come that time in which you will begin to be taught from within, for this is where truth resides. Information, answers, explanations, and ideas that result in aha moments for you are the fruits of your own inner work and will often manifest when you least expect, when you are doing something as mundane as washing dishes but are at the same time quiet and receptive. Issues of life begin to be seen from new levels of understanding, and a truth you may have read and pondered but never fully understood may suddenly become simple and clear. Divine truth is all that is, and is infinite. There is an old Eastern saying that says that if you can encompass it, the absolute within your mind, which many think they do, then that is not it. Absolute truth is every spiritual idea embodied within divine consciousness, ever present but interpreted by the mind in the human scene according to individual and world consciousness. To try and live the absolute, before attaining that state of consciousness is a mistake many serious spiritual students make. To throw away your medications before you have attained the consciousness of your completeness and wholeness as a divine being, is a very human action. However, when something no longer resonates with you, never be afraid to let it go. Holding on to some facet of your life just because it is what you are used to, is a block to your awakening. You are required to live out from your highest attained state of consciousness, living the truth you know while moving ever deeper through practice and study. The act of transition or death does not bring a sudden realization of truth as many believe. You are your state of consciousness and therefore take it with you. All are taught and guided lovingly on the other side, just as here. Evolution is the process of an ever-increasing awareness of who you really are, dear ones. Evolution is a process that does not suddenly culminate overnight unless you have done the work getting you to that state of consciousness in previous lifetimes. Try not to become discouraged and feel you are making no progress if life seems mundane and ordinary. Do not compare yourself to others, do the best you can, remembering always that you are being guided and are never alone. If you succumb to the weight of some human burden, resist the temptation for blame or guilt, but simply pick yourself up and continue. You will soon discover that the sky did not fall down when you make a mistake, nor do you have to go back to the beginning of your journey. Failure is a concept within third-dimensional thinking. There is no such thing as failure in reality, only learning experiences. You are loved, dear ones, very loved and honored greatly for your efforts and work. All is proceeding according to plan. We are the Arcturian Group.